Welcome into the local and community issues and answers right here on WVTN Gospel Television. We're so thankful to have in the studio with us today Jan Grinch. Now she is from the Healing Journey of Recovery. Jan, so good to see you.
Nice to be here.
Now tell us about the Healing Journey of Recovery.
Well, it's my private practice, so I'm a mental health counselor. I'm a licensed professional clinical counselor in the state of Kentucky. And so I have a master's degree in counseling from Asbury Theological Seminary.
Very good.
And I've had to have a lot of experience with supervision before I could become licensed. So I've been practicing in my own private practice now for 5 years, but I worked in some other agencies before that to get some experience.
Well, you know, Jan, this is a very topic that's close to my heart because I see so many people that are suffering through mental disorders, addictions, and things of that nature, even in the church. And they need to know, number one, that God can set them free. And Jesus, died for their problems. But they need to learn the ways, the process of it.
That's right, and I like that word process, because even though Jesus can heal us in a word, and we know that he has all that power, that more often than not, he heals us in time and space. And so we have to, like you said, we have to learn those skills of how to not react to things, but to act. So like you were saying earlier, for us to be able to think and also practice. It takes experience. Sometimes we keep making the same mistake until we realize that's just not working for us.
And there's a lot of people, maybe under the sound of our voice, maybe watching on TV or radio, listening in. You're battling with things throughout the years, whether it be a bad marriage. You know, some people have such a hard time even forgiving themselves of things that's not their fault.
That's right. And a lot of things happen to us when we're young, when we're children. And our personalities get formed and developed around those experiences that we have. So the first thing I do when I work with a client is I want to know them. So I ask them about, what was it like for you? Where did you grow up? What were your mom and dad like? Did you have a happy home? Was it stable? How did you get along with your brothers and sisters? And what was school like for you? And I just want to get to know them, to hear their story, because we've all been, like I said, shaped and formed by those experiences that we've had in our life.
Now, let's talk about some of the things that you deal with. You counsel marriages, you deal with children's disorders. What all things do you cover?
Well, I don't work with young children. I have had training in play therapy, but I'm not set up to do play therapy. So there are some other therapists that I would refer for young children. Some of the middle-aged children, if they're very talkative, I might work with them, but usually the youngest that I work with would be adolescents. I've had a lot of experience working with adolescents. And I also work with families. I work a lot with couples. I do a lot of marriage counseling. And I work with people who are needing help with different kinds of addictions. And I actually have a specialty where I'm certified as a certified sexual addiction therapist. So that is something that there are very few of us in the United States and around the world that have this certification. And the certification I got from the leading researcher in the field, Patrick Carnes. And so he has written, probably was the first to write about sexual addiction, and he's probably written the most about it. But there are many other people that have written about it, but there's a lot of help and a lot of hope for people that are trapped in sexual behaviors that are just compulsive. They are not wanting to do that. It's something that they're trying to get out of, but they don't know how. They've tried to get victory many, many ways, and they just haven't. And there are answers to that, and we can maybe talk about that sometime.
And you know, there's so many disorders and so many addictions, and if you don't get it under control and get it fixed through this journey, through this process, it can lead to other things. It can lead to violent things. You know, depression. If you don't get depression under control, it can take you over to where that you can even commit suicide, you know, and you've seen it so many times. Even here in this area, it seems like people are so distraught. And you know, it's all how you handle things and cope with things. And you teach people to do that.
Right, and like I said earlier, these things come to us a lot of times because of the painful things that have happened to us in our childhood.
Right.
And we call that trauma. So it's like, if it could be something like an accident that you were involved in. It could be that, you know, somebody did something mean to you.
Right.
Could be that there was some addiction in your home, and maybe somebody was treating you like you had to wait and serve them all the time, and you didn't know who you were, didn't have a life of your own. Many kinds of things. It could be that there was a chronic illness in the family,
Right.
where somebody was getting all the attention in the family, a parent or a sibling or somebody, maybe even yourself, and then you weren't getting your needs met because everybody's attention was going to help someone else,
Right.
maybe a handicapped person or something like that.